Welcome and thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please like, share, and subscribe. It really helps trying to grow the channel. It's grown a little bit every time, so eventually I'll get a bunch of people following me. So last video, I did not get to the drive shafts and drive lines, so I want to take some time and get those on this video, and it'll be a short section, but the focus on this video is primarily going to be this little thingy right here. That's the lever lock brake on this truck. It acts as a parking brake, but legally it's not a parking brake because it still uses the same hydraulic system as your regular brakes. So, whereas a parking brake, you have to have a completely isolated system. So it's technically not a parking brake, but it really works good. As a matter of fact, it works too good, and that's what the rest of the video is going to be about. So let's go ahead and get started, and I'll explain it as we go. I'll start with the front drive shaft. It comes in just gloss black. I strip that, and then I reprimer it. And paint it my traditional flat black so it matches everything else. This drive shaft is a 1350 CV drive shaft. It is a 2-inch tube with 188 or 187, depending on how you measure it, DOM tube thickness. And just keep an eye out when you install that. Make sure you clear things like your transmission. Now that the front drive shaft is in, I will start on the rear, and you can see my little helper here. Unfortunately, she passed away this last year after 12 years old. Just had a heart disease, and it quit one day. So I kind of miss her in the shop and on the trail, but we will move on from there. The rear drive shaft, like the front, it comes in gloss black. I strip it down, repaint it in the flat black I use on everything else. Now this rear drive shaft is a 1410. You can see the difference with that 1350 yoke sitting there. Now there's a technique you can use to replace that yoke on a crush sleeve differential, and I've got that outlined pretty well in a video called A Few Differential Tricks, so I would strongly suggest doing that instead of just slapping a yoke in. Yoke's in, now just install the drive shaft. Now I'm going to say this drive line is really heavy. You don't want to drop it on your fingers or your head. 1410 CV in the front, 1410 joint in the back. The tube is 188 heavy wall DOM. It'll hurt you if it falls on you. All right, why don't you get a couple started and zip her in. Yeah, that was a little bit ridiculous for quantity of tape. And U-bolt style. Most of the time I use nylocks in these, grade 8s of course. But in this particular one, I'm going to go ahead and use their hardware. There's some expanded air inside of the U-joints, and since these are well sealed, because they've never been abused at this point, I just need to squeeze the caps in, and then I can push them in. Then nuts and washers, and we're going to be ready to rock and roll. Washer, nut. Like I said, I usually use nylocks for this, but these are really high grade stuff, and they're designed for it, so I'm going to go ahead and use them. They never had one come off either way. Now we're going to torque everything up. When you're tightening U-bolts on these U-joints, do them evenly. You don't want to suck one side down and not the other, and keep the ends about the same. as you get tighter. Nice. Well, now with the Monster 1410 driveline fully installed, touched up, painted, and now I'm going to test the lever lock. Well, here's the backstory behind the lever lock. This is a lever lock that's off and that's on, or a Myco lock, I guess it would be. When you turn it on, push the brake pedal down and it locks fluid into the brake line for whichever end. Now I did it to the rears, mostly because I can do this and do a front dig when I disconnect the Atlas transfer case. And then to release it, you just push it off. So I was testing this, and I mean I was testing this for real. I wanted to make real sure this would hold this Jeep without fail, no problem. So I engaged the Myco lever lock, fire the Jeep up and put it in first gear, and let the clutch out. Well, an 8.1 doesn't want to stall when it's got a computer running it, number one. Number two, an 8.1 is sitting at about 500 pound-feet of torque at 700 RPM. So it's throwing a whole bunch of load to that rear axle. It stalled the engine, but after it bent that caliper hanger and broke the caliper. Now I got those caliper hangers from Rough Stuff. You know, they were willing to send me another one. They said it shouldn't have bent, and I don't think it should have bent either, but it did. I really can't 100% blame it on a faulty piece of metal or faulty manufacturing, because, like I said, I tested this thing for real, and that was where the failure happened. So now I'm going to replace that caliper hanger. Unfortunately, when I pulled the bolts out, I remembered when I put that rear end together on the ground, I had to cut a lot of perches and there was a whole bunch of rust, and the old bolts came out real hard, but the new ones torqued in okay. Well, when I pulled the bolts out this time, what was left of the threads came out with it. So root cause was either, at some point it was either over torqued real bad, or it had enough rust that the threads just started pulling out anyway. So that's the obstacle to overcome now, is repairing the threads. You can see the damaged paint. That's where the caliper hanger spread, and then once it spread, it broke that caliper. So this is what it looks like compared to the good one. Definitely bent. This hole right here on the spindle in this rear of this 14 bolt, pulled this apart and some of the threads came out. So I ran a thread chase through it, and I could get a bolt threaded in there just fine. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to torque it. I've tried tightening it. It wants to pull the threads. So there's several repairs I could do. If I don't have a U-bolt here, I could just put a nut on the back of it, but I'm going to run these U-bolts, so that option's out. My other option is I can re-drill this, thread it, and put a Healy coil in it, and that's a good repair. My repair that I'm going to do, I'm going to take my welder and I'm going to fill this hole in. I'm going to flatten this back down and grind it. I'm going to re-drill and tap the correct hole in it. So this spindle, when I'm done, will be the way it came from the factory. Step one, clean it down, burn the paint off, and then fill the hole in with the MIG welder. Step two is I use a cutoff wheel for this so I can make sure it's nice and flat. Okay, now that I've got the hole filled, what I'll do is I'll bolt on, and I'll use a 1/2-inch bit to create a guide point. And once that guide point's in, I'll drill it and tap it. With the guide point on there, I'm going to use a 1/2-inch drill bit, mostly so that I can put a dimple in that metal, and that way I know I'm exactly where I need to be. Perfect. Now I can use quarter to drill it. I'll start with a 1/4 drill bit, then go 5/16, then 3/8, then 7/16. I'll finish at 7/16. That way I have room for the 1/2 tap to go through. Nice new clean hole, and it's 7/16, so I've got enough room to use a 1/2 thread tap, one at a time. Now I did put some oil on my tap, so it should cut clean. The other thing you want to do when you're tapping metal like this is go in a few times, run it backwards once, so it'll break off and clean out the curled up metal shaving. You'll get a cleaner cut that way, I found, because this isn't the machinist's way of doing it, but it'll work every time. Run a bolt in, threader by hand, zipper in once or twice. Perfect. It's hard to get focus there. Perfectly new threaded, just like it came from the factory. These caliper hangers are actually from Motobelt. I happened to order those for another project. I'll replace them later. Everything torqued perfect to 70 pounds. Now, once I had this sitting on the ground and everything together, I came to the conclusion that I need to put about an inch, 1 to 2 inch spacer here and add one more leaf spring to the front. Reason being is I need it a little bit higher on the ride height. I'll get a better angle on my brake caliper, I get a better steering angle, and I can also, if I need to, adjust the pinion angle. I actually like these brackets a little bit better. They have multi-holes. I didn't have to drill these. I went ahead and ordered a pair and replaced both sides, and of course had to replace that caliper. Yay. You can see the spacer. Now this is an H-block, basically a fancy I-beam. There is a pin coming down through the leaf spring, and there's a receiver hole in the H-block, and then there's also a post on the bottom that lines it up so it centers correctly, just like it's supposed to. I'm paranoid, so I also tack weld the corners to it because I don't want any shifting going on. But that's how I built the spacer. It's tough, it works good, and it leveled everything out where I wanted it, as well as it gave it more clearance for the caliper pins. And I wasn't planning on doing a video on repairing the rear axle caliper hanger flange assembly on a 14 bolt. But I think videos like this are valuable because how many times have you had a broken bolt, a stripped hole, something you had to fix, and it could either ruin your day or you just look at it as another obstacle that you have to overcome on a build. And that's kind of the way I look at it, is what it is. But we're brand new again back there. It all goes together. It all works like it's supposed to. So that was the goal there. And hopefully it gives other people some inspiration when they run into those issues. Otherwise, I do appreciate you watching. That's going to do it for this portion of the video. Please like, share, and subscribe. I really do appreciate it. The channel is growing slowly but surely. Baby steps, as they say. And again, I do appreciate the comments. I enjoy people commenting and asking questions. So if you have questions or comments, throw them down that comment. Whoop, and I'll answer what I can. Thanks again for watching. Now let's go do some four-wheeling. This four-wheeling video is out in Montrose. There is an event out here called the Great American Crawl. It was pretty busy out there for a couple of days, especially during a weekday when a lot of people are supposed to be working. But this is a really fun event. These are extreme trails, and there's a lot of strange and cool vehicles out here. Started off with a driver and participants meeting, and
ready for drivers
went wheeling from there.
PLM for this nice landing strip they have here for us. They are actually here out today. We do have all of our permits and everything in place for this, just to let everybody know. There are some brochures over here they dropped off. If you have any questions about trail use or anything like that out here, you're new to the area, any of that kind of stuff, grab one of these things and check it out. There's also maps up here at the map area, right around the corner. There's some dry maps up there.
I jumped in the group, quote, medium trail. This is for die trying. There's me. I know about 4 people on this trail, and this is a lot of rigs. how steep this is, but this is some serious elevation change here. Today's fun trail is Death Row. You notice a whole pile of buggies out here and one Jeep. That would be me. Steer sure makes a difference. Beautiful line. cleanest line I've seen today.
Nice job. Yep. Stay over here. Go around. You better clear it, bud. Yeah, he's got it. You better slide off. Good job. That's it. Perfect. You're good.
He's wiggling it and getting her up there, but taking a while. These high-end rear steers, they like taking the insane lines. Well, I'm guessing one of my friends took a video, so there is proof I made it up here. Jeep trail. Yes, this is the gatekeeper, so now we'll start some obstacles. Necessarily back up when you get stuck. You need to get lined up where your front and your rear tires need to hit.
From right here, you're going to leave your tires right where they are. You're going to hook this front tire on this rock, and then all of a sudden you're going to wick it left, go up towards that tree, and then as the back is up on here, you're going to go right, and then you're going to go left, and you're going to stop
Then
up
go
there.
right, and then left again.
Yeah, then left again, and then
That's a hammer. Just stop me.
trail buggy.
Nippers, you know, like we talked about, the
Higher cage, skinny chassis.
I still want to be.
Yeah, I'm a
too.
V8 guy. There are times when I like horsepower. I mean, I crawl everything I can, but you know what? I think I'm at some point gonna have to pony up for some 20-inch rims, so next time I replace my stickies. I get a lot of flex in the sidewalls. Been there. So he turns his rear stairs that direction and he can just drive out of that.